that's people and pet friendly, get new Raid Essentials Light Trap.
We begin top story with late breaking news.
Is it going to succeed, yes or no?
I think it's going to succeed. It's going to succeed.
Can you believe it?
Y'all did it!
KBLA Talk 1580 is about to celebrate its second anniversary on Juneteenth, and no terrible twos around here. We couldn't be more excited about all the good news we'll be announcing soon, including the launch of some new shows to keep giving you more of what you've been looking for.
Come on!
Smart radio for smart people. Hey, it's our celebration, but you get all the gifts. We'll be giving away fresh merch, swag bags, and a chance for you to join the private invitation-only, star-studded music and dance till you drop, food and drink galore second anniversary celebration. To stay in the know about the second anniversary details, download the KBLA Talk 1580 app right now. Don't miss out on your chance to be a winner. At KBLA Talk 1580, when we come forward, we're bringing everybody with us.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Yo, I come from a small city where nothing is handed. Took my talents and made them work for me, look where I landed. I know a lot of those out there really don't want me having it. They just mad that I'm creeping on them and they had advantages. See, when my voice is on, I let my voice be the change. Put it in these communities, let it give them some range. Let them know that they got a shot at anything they want. And it ain't all about the teaching, but really how they responded. And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it. I am unapologetically progressive in efforts to fight for the people. Gotta exercise our voting rights and then push the needle. I'm walking tall, cause I know that y'all expect me to lead. To push the message I am willing to bleed. I gotta get what I need. That's social reform, that's prison reform. I'm highly informed, don't put down a pen. I got a list, I can't resist. I preach it till I talk with a list. And who you know gon' give it to you like this? And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley out of your media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, man, let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about right here. KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show, the whole 9 in the nighttime, right at 9. Ready to blaze up another Wednesday night broadcast for all the kings and queens and everybody in between. And we are mere days away from the Juneteenth holiday. A still brand spanking new federal holiday with that new cost mail. Taking place each year on June 19th. It commemorates June 19th, 1865, when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and informed the country's last remaining enslaved people that they were freed. The announcement came more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. I guess all things in Texas are big except for hearing aids. But that's another conversation. But Juneteenth 2023 just so happens to also be the 2-year anniversary of the only black-owned and operated talk radio station west of the Mississippi. As most of you already know, the entire KBLA family will be out in force at our upcoming anniversary event with food, drink, live performances, and your favorite talk radio hosts absorbing all of the melanated magic within the vicinity. Which is exactly why I'm proud to announce that Jeff Allen was the winner of our latest KBLA gift bag on the Danny Mo Show last night and gained entrance into our blessed event. Congratulations, King. Look for more opportunities to win as we inch closer to the celebration with every show on this very network. And for more information on our 2-year anniversary event, keep it locked within the KBLA Talk 1580 ecosystem via the frequency, the KBLA socials, the KBLA app, and our official website, KBLA1580.com. And we cannot wait, man. But we kings and queens in media and entertainment know exactly what will not only entertain you for the Juneteenth holiday every year, but what is respectful and culturally appropriate at the same time. But I think it's safe to say that white America has already started showing me that our newly minted black holiday will be met with the same racial tactics and pushback that our laws and institutions have poisoned this country with since its founding in 1776. Because the colonizers in corporate America have already started intentionally or unintentionally dropping the ball using overt or covert racial tactics in an effort to devalue our heritage into heresy. Let me explain. There was a smattering of racist Juneteenth pushback nationwide last year. But the knuckle-dragging Jethros who have caught my attention this year started with an effort by the city of Pittsburgh to stifle the progress of Pittsburgh's longest-running Juneteenth festival. The organizers in the city claim that city and state officials keep throwing obstacles in their way and racism is to blame. Last year's Juneteenth event in the wake of the brand new holiday drew more than 40,000 kings and queens in the festival celebrating black culture with live music and food and craft vendors and more. But organizers like William B. Marshall and a number of his supporters now claim that Point State Park officials in Pittsburgh have unfairly tightened up the restrictions and are actively working to show black people the door. And CBS Pittsburgh was on the case. Listen.
Organizers of the upcoming Juneteenth celebration in Pittsburgh are accusing the state and the city of discriminatory practices regarding security.
They also say there are last-minute requirements for vendors. Ross Gadati is looking into the organizers' complaints and has the latest.
William B. Marshall put plain what he thinks is happening.
They don't want us down here at the point. They've been doing everything to restrict us.
Backed by supporters, B. Marshall, who heads up the annual celebration marking the freedom of slaves 2 years after emancipation, says the event is being unfairly asked to pick up the tab for keeping the event safe for all involved.
They are requiring us to pay the city police for protection, which we are totally against. We feel that the city police should be protecting black people at Point State Park. We are a vulnerable audience and a vulnerable crowd.
Another point of concern is vendors and what the state is asking them to do if they want to hold the event at Point State Park.
They're telling the vendors they can't be in here no more unless they have solar generators. Gas generators cost $45 to rent for the weekend. A solar generator is $500 a day.
Michelle Moses of Sherry's Market says she planned on having a Juneteenth booth, but claims the regulations for solar power were changed without notice.
And every year, right before we come in, there's a new guideline. There's something else that's being required, and I just don't understand why.
B. Marshall claims that vendor solar power isn't required at other state parks and shouldn't be for Point State Park.
We provide an economic impact within the city of $2 million with this 3 days of festivities.
The Pittsburgh Juneteenth celebration is set to run from June 15th to June 19th. Ross Gadati, KDKA News.
Solar generators, really? And I find it interesting that the same city that is asking for black people to pay for security defense is the same city who houses the same team that couldn't pay for a better Pittsburgh Steelers defense to make the playoffs last year. But I digress. Back on topic. Another moment of melanin-deficient mayhem took place in the city of Hartford, Connecticut. The city of Hartford was bold enough to collectively share in the creation of a Black Lives Matter mural on Trinity Street in the summer of 2020, and it seemed as though race relations were actually starting to turn a pivotal corner in the city. That was until the new Juneteenth holiday was announced, and this year, the red-capped white supremacists decided to turn off Fox News, put down their fried bologna sandwiches, and spring into action. And the same segment of the population that is highly critical of the tagging and defacing of private property by black and brown people in the most metropolitan cities of America have an ironic response to a mural that in no way compromises their integrity nor affects their respective ways of life one bit, by taking the time to only prove to us all that they are all cowards for showing their racism in the darkness and how their beliefs are entirely full of you know the rest. And WFSB Channel 3 in Connecticut was on the case. Listen.
Police are still trying to figure out who vandalized the Black Lives Matter mural. Now, the mural on Trinity Street is in the process of being repainted by local artists. Mayor Luke Bronin says that someone defaced it yesterday with a swastika and a message of white supremacy. Now, in response to the incident, Governor Ned Lamont said, quote, "All of us as a community need to take a strong stance to denounce any messages advocating hate," end of quote.
In a statement, Mayor Luke Bronin would also say, quote, "Whoever scrawled this swastika and message of white supremacy is a miserable, small, hate-filled person who wants us divided and afraid. But our Hartford community is united, diverse, loving, and strong. We're angry about this vile act of hate, but we're not weakened by it. I went out this morning to thank the artists who have joined together to renew this mural as a beautiful expression of a community that stands together in love and mutual respect. Our police are working to find the person responsible for this hate crime, and I want that person to know that their hatefulness just made us stronger," end quote. Look, I'll admit that I rolled my eyes all the way to the back of my head when I first read that statement from the mayor. And to be honest, you'll be looking for the vandals right alongside OJ looking for the killers. And let's be honest here. But I can at least appreciate the sentiment. And once again, I digress. And back on topic. Let's not forget about the corporate America embarrassments that took place last year. Remember when Walmart had a great idea to capitalize on the new Juneteenth holiday in celebration of African Americans with some Juneteenth-themed ice cream? Remember that nonsense, huh? Yeah, Walmart sold a Juneteenth-themed ice cream under its Great Value brand. Yeah, you heard me. An ice cream commemorating the end of slavery, which was a practice that took place in this country for 250 years. Branded with the Good Value tag. Yeah, not a good look. Good Value is a food brand owned and operated by Walmart, and this limited edition ice cream was branded as a celebration edition Juneteenth flavor. A mix of swirled red velvet and cheesecake flavors. And for more information and to put their own comical spin on the topic TMZ Live was on this case, listen.
I scream, you scream, we all... Yeah, a lot of screaming over Walmart's Juneteenth ice cream, and we got to break the news to Aunt Viv from Bel Air, Cassandra Freeman.
Juneteenth ice cream, and people are mad.
This is wrong.
No.
Walmart was putting out a special celebratory Juneteenth ice cream, and she goes,
"What's next? September 11th? Ice cream? Juneteenth? Somebody did not read the history books. Jesus."
Juneteenth is a celebration, though.
Yeah, but do you know the basis of the celebration? Capitalism would go completely against it.
When you look at the label, the word Juneteenth on the ice cream has a trademark symbol beside it, because Walmart was trademarking Juneteenth ice cream.
Oh God, that's even worse.
They were having some ownership over Juneteenth.
Can you guess what the flavor is?
It better be chocolate.
It should be.
Red velvet and cheesecake. I don't know if I can say this, but it sounds delicious.
They're like, what do Negroes like? They love red velvet. You know what else they like? Pumpkin pie.
Anyway, Walmart has apologized and decided to go ahead and give this a second thought. Plenty of other ideas out there.
What's your face saying? Amber Heard ice cream. What's in the middle of that one?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate mousse.
Okay, appetite gone. You're the best, Cassandra.
That's actually pretty funny. Off topic, one would think that Walmart would give everything away for free on Juneteenth, right? Yeah, free. The enslaved were freed on that day 157 years ago. So if Walmart truly wanted to follow suit and pay homage to Juneteenth, give some things away. Set them free. Or at least pay some higher wages. But ain't no way that's going to happen to a company that ranked among the top 4 largest companies with employees using SNAP and Medicaid benefits, with an estimated 14,500 workers who receive food stamps. Yeah, thousands of people are working full-time jobs at Walmart and still needing welfare to survive. So miss me with your Juneteenth ice cream, Walmart. How about spreading some of that cream over to your employees? But I digress. Again. And lastly, there was IKEA. IKEA. I also found it ironic that a company that sells furniture that can barely stand up failed miserably at standing up against racism. I'm just saying, this was actually the first act of racism that I can recall that was associated with Juneteenth, and it just happened 2 years ago. You see, IKEA took it upon themselves to try and celebrate African Americans that year by recalibrating their food menu in a way that would be indicative of what black people might like to eat for Juneteenth. Seems like another great gesture, right? Wrong. The problem is, Becky and Brad in the IKEA management office at that location probably couldn't see what food items they were writing down because the eye holes in their KKK hoods may have been too small. And thankfully, CBS 46 in Atlanta was on the case and covered it all. Listen.
IKEA employees say this menu on your screen was sent to employees last Friday. They say the menu was going to be served to customers and employees as a way to, quote, honor and preserve Black Americans in light of the Juneteenth holiday.
You cannot say serving watermelon on Juneteenth is a soul food menu when you don't even know the history of they used to feed slaves watermelon during the slavery time.
Employees say the menu items selected, including fried chicken, watermelon, mac and cheese, collard greens, and more, was racially insensitive and ignorant.
It caused a lot of people to be upset. People actually wanted to quit. People wasn't coming back to work.
Employees outraged say 33 people called out of work, sparking this internal email response from the store manager on Saturday.
She said that I truly apologize. The menu came off subjective.
But employees say the decision behind the creation of the menu should have included voices of color first.
None of the co-workers who sat down to create the menu, nobody was Black.
The store manager told employees and CBS 46 that the menu changed after the issue, but employees say...
So they just delayed the Juneteenth menu by a day, thinking that, everybody who was upset stayed home on Juneteenth and wouldn't notice on Sunday, which just added insult to injury.
Dear employees, we apologize for our racism. Go ahead and take a day off, but feel free to take a glass of red Kool-Aid located at our front counter home with you. On us! So I say all that to say this. Mishaps like this can be avoided pretty easily. But don't expect changes to happen anytime soon. And here's why. It's primarily due to a systemic issue that continues to permeate American commerce, and it will only change via transformative action or by attrition. Unless you have Black people involved in the decision-making processes, or even better, have Black people in management positions navigating the quality control decisions, or on your freaking board of directors, nothing will change. And it's all pretty simple. We may be in the midst of a browning of America, with America becoming a majority-minority country around the year 2045, but white people are still unwilling to share the bag. You currently have Fortune 500 companies that most may be comprised of people of color from middle management and down, but the upper echelon positions are still inhabited by Caucasians. And we're in the middle of a racial reckoning right now as we speak. And the baby boomer white people that are running these companies don't buy into your cries for inclusion and efforts to bring true multiculturalism to these American shores. They will just continue to cash their annual 8-figure checks by doing absolutely nothing and tossing a bone to us Black people to make themselves feel better. That's enough equality for them. In conclusion, there is a silver lining to this entire conversation now. At least some companies are trying frivolously and trying with ignorance attached, but they are still trying nonetheless. As we get closer and closer to the end of the baby boomer generation, it is incumbent upon us to continue to hold these companies' feet to the fire when it seems as though they are taking African Americans for granted. We must continue to be the barometer on what is racially biased or culturally inappropriate in America. We determine the definition, not them. We got 400 years of capital to spend trying to achieve balance and equality, and we know about spending, don't we? Our spending power was up to $1.6 trillion last time I checked. So if we believe that you aren't doing right by Black people, we will make you pay. Ask Starbucks what happened to their image when those two brothers were arrested for no reason in that store in Philadelphia, lost $16 million in revenue after shutting down their stores all day for racial bias training. Ask Papa John's what happened to their stock when founder and chairman John Schnatter dropped the N-word on a conference call back in 2018, and ask Pepsi what happened to their worldwide credibility when they foolishly tried to use freaking Kendall Jenner in a Black Lives Matter type advertisement to trivialize the real protesters in these streets fighting for justice and equality. That ad was cringeworthy, by the way. Do right by us or we will make you pay. We ain't your great-grandparents' Black people. And as long as you consult with African Americans on your plans for Juneteenth holiday this year, next year, and every year after that, your P&L statement will likely stay in the black. Pun intended. But that's just me. Tell me what you think, LA, huh? What do you think about city officials in Pittsburgh strengthening their policies for their annual Juneteenth this year, huh? Is it unfair for a city to ask for added security after the event drew 40,000 kings and queens last year? Or is it simply common sense? Or do you smell racism? Huh? What about the defacing of the Black Lives Matter mural in Hartford, Connecticut in anticipation of the Juneteenth holiday? Or Walmart's best value Juneteenth ice cream and IKEA serving chicken and watermelon for Juneteenth last year? How can we discern between who and what is on our side and outright racism? Holla at your boy. Your voice change, voice community, your voice is on. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android. It don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too, plus the Danny Mo Show as usual. We'll take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I will add another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation tonight. Look, this will continue to happen. Bank on it. Old white men are in no hurry to relinquish their executive positions obtained through white entitlement and white supremacy, and they definitely won't capitulate to the multicultural liberal left. But there's one color they do care about, though. Green. So they might be willing to make some changes. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 steps companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Houston, we got a problem. Disinfect the racist decision makers from your company now, or deal with us African Americans shopping elsewhere later. I'm giving you some valuable information to help your business tonight. Stay tuned. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's ride.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The pandemic may be over, but many Angelenos could be at risk of losing the place they call home. It's important to know your rights as a residential renter in the city of LA. Did you know eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt that was due before March 31st, 2023? And that you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice, also known as an unlawful detainer. Learn more about your rental rights at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying when they really can't speak. She says her gums have been bleeding. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Yup, New Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore is professionally designed to start healing gums from day one. Right. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
Crest Gum Detoxify and Restore. Smile. Crest has you covered.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Something new is happening in California's public schools.
They're called community schools.
One of the foundations of community schools is shared decision making,
where parents and families, students and educators make decisions as one.
Community schools lift the voices of folks that have traditionally been underserved.
Many of our classes are designed around our own students' cultures, their background, their personal experiences.
We bring culturally relevant curriculum to the classroom based on what their specific needs are.
Improving student achievement and innovative classes like cybersecurity and gardening.
And we assist families with their needs.
Some schools have parent education programs, cooking and nutrition classes.
Everything from medical or dental services to immigration law services.
This is a one-stop shop that serves the needs of not just the students, but their families as well.
They're California's community schools, reimagining public education. Paid for by the California Teachers Association.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Lamar Park, California, streaming live on the KBLA YouTube page as we speak. I'm not here to tell you how to think, but I am here to tell you what to think about. We black in the spot. Another episode of the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Okay, my peeps on YouTube right now, Y'all know how we get down. Y'all know how we put it down for the town. We got King Joseph saying greetings to Danny, Mo, and Andy, and everybody in the chat. It's going to be another great show tonight. I'm checking in from South Central Los Angeles. By the way, that conversation you and I had after the show last night on the borderlines between Inglewood and South Central, that helped me out so much. And Compton. I'm starting to learn Black LA a little bit better. Appreciate you, Andy. We'll talk about that later. And Clover Lover? Is that what that says? I don't know. Hey, Danny, Tanya here, listening up. Hello, Tanya. I don't know which. I know 5,000 Tanyas, man. You gotta be most specific, Queen. I appreciate you. But once again, I want all my YouTube watchers to hit that like button at the bottom of this live feed on the KBLA YouTube page. I'm being told you can only do it if you're on a smartphone, but I don't think that's true. I think you can also do it via PC. You can't do it from TV. You know, because I run YouTube through my smart TV and also through my Xbox. I don't think you could do it that way, but any other, method, you can do it. So hit that like on the live feed on the KBLA YouTube page, and it helps us within the algorithm. We get better traction that way. We would very much appreciate it. And before we get to the bottom of the hour here, I got to clear something up. Andy, not get this off my chest. That's coming up in a few, and which, by the way, is pretty serious. I may offend some people with getting this off my chest tonight, but I gotta say it. We will do it on the other side. As far as this is far more trivial. People are asking me about my hairstyle in my picture that I posted when I was 15 years old a couple days ago. For those that haven't seen it, I had a gentleman from Bakersfield on the show the other day. And somebody sent me a picture of me back when I was in high school. I think it was like 2002 or something. Andy, shut your mouth right now. That being said, but they sent me a picture, and so I'm standing in the quad. My girl Tanya is next to me, and my homeboy Jamal is next to me, right? And we're standing in the quad, right? It can't be that Tanya. I don't think so. It might be. One of the Tanyas I know. I think she spells her name differently, though. And people are talking about my hair in the picture because it looks like I have, like, some semblance of a jerry curl or some semblance of a Gumby or a flat top or something. And then they can't see what's going on in the back of my hair. And I had to admit something because I had a family member hit me and she said, you ain't going to tell them what you used to do with your hair back then? And I said, I ain't got no problem admitting that I was metrosexual back then. I think I admitted that on the mic the other night. Here's what I used to do. And don't hold it against me. But, I try to be as transparent as possible on this broadcast. I had a long jerry curl. And I mean, like, man, I'm telling you, Michael was jealous. Prince was jealous. Stoney Jackson was jealous. Look it up. All them cats was looking at me saying, Danny's hair is whipped for sure. But it was so long sometime. I can't believe I used to take 2 rubber bands and split the back of my hair in the middle and make 2, like, Mickey Mouse ears on the back of my head with my jerry curl. So, Andy, don't do that to me. So if you look at that photo, the back of my hair is in 2 ponytails in the back. So, yeah. I'm not saying I was the most masculine cat in high school. I was very much a pretty boy. Y'all was bagging on my sandals that I had on as well. And also bagging on, I weighed about $105. Told you, hula hooping and Cheerios every day. However, I was sexy, though. Admit your boy was a little bit sexy. I know you don't want to say it. And I know how you are. I ain't going to tell no man that he's sexy. And I want you to say live on this radio right now that I'm sexy in that picture.
What was that growing above your lip?
What do you mean?
Was that a little peach fuzz right there?
I used to, I wasn't quite there. I got all this hair on my face now. That was probably some dirt. I don't know. It was in the quad. A lot of dirt around. I could barely. I used to try to grow a 5 o'clock shadow. Let's just say it was about 1 o'clock back then. They used to call me Patches. I'm just saying I couldn't. I ain't got that problem now though. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, I will tell you who's coming in at the top of the hour. We're starting our series with Malik Books tonight. And I'm so honored and blessed to have this young lady call in and discuss what's going to be happening this coming weekend with Malik Books. And I've also got something to get off my chest that might offend a few tonight. But I got to be honest. You know how we do. I'm going to break it down for you on the other side. 1-800-920-1580. You're listening to The Danny Morrison Show. KBLA Talk 1580. Right now, news and traffic. Stay there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The chair of the Federal Reserve says inflation has moderated, but there's still a long way to go to get it to 2%. Jerome Powell spoke about the Fed's decision to leave interest rates unchanged for the first time in more than a year. Most officials anticipate 2 more rate increases to come this year. The Fed had raised rates by a total of 5% since March of 2022 in an effort to battle rising inflation. A Greenville, South Carolina civil rights leader is calling for a boycott of the city's upcoming Juneteenth celebration. Paul Guy, who is executive director of Justice Intervention Initiative, claims the event organizers and city government administration promote systemic racism and goes against the principles of equality and justice. This year's week-long event, which is underway and runs through Saturday, already drew controversy well before this week. And that's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The new Raid Essentials Light Trap uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes, turning your home into restricted airspace. For insecticide-free protection that's people and pet-friendly, get new Raid Essentials Light Trap.
We begin top story with late-breaking news.
Is it going to succeed, yes or no?
I think it's going to succeed. It's going to succeed.
Can you believe it? Y'all did it! KBLA Talk 1580 is about to celebrate its 2nd anniversary on Juneteenth, and no terrible twos around here. We couldn't be more excited about all the good news we'll be announcing soon, including the launch of some new shows to keep giving you more of what you've been looking for. Come on! Smart radio for smart people. Hey, it's our celebration, but you get all the gifts. We'll be giving away fresh merch, swag bags, and a chance for you to join the private invitation-only star-studded music and dance till you drop food and drink galore 2nd anniversary celebration. To stay in the know about the 2nd anniversary details, download the KBLA Talk 1580 app right now. Don't miss out on your chance to be a winner. At KBLA Talk 1580, when we come forward, we're bringing everybody with us.
Happy anniversary, KBLA! If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees and you paid COVID sick leave in 2021 or 22, you may qualify for reimbursement through a state grant program administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Learn more at covidpaidsick.com.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
But anyway, you can catch me any day, sipping Hennessy, and my peeps get plenty A. In many ways to see that I hold this dough. Cats faked it, I made it, I told you so. Mocha latte, kid, me no play, stress-free, sexy, and Montego Bay. You know it's a pity that y'all look like idiots. Yo boo, let me know when I should rip this cat. And he don't call me anymore. We don't even kiss. Am I his fool? What must I do to keep him loving me? All this love I give, that ain't cool. Got what you want, I got what you need.
Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. That song is perfect. Kind of symbolic tonight, Andy. I appreciate you playing that. By the way, coming up at the top of the hour, I got another Pulse 101 interview that I want you to hear. She officially kicks off a new series on the Danny Mo Show in collaboration with Malik Books, who are hosting the Freedom to Read and Write Juneteenth celebration at Westfield Culver City Mall, 6000 Sepulveda Boulevard, Suite 2470, in, of course, the city of Culver City. This Saturday, June 17th at 2 p.m., celebrating the freedom to read and write with live music, children's activities, author readings, book signings, and more. Courageous women discussing writing and book publishing. As many of you already know, Malik Books is a black-owned independent bookstore that specializes in African-American books, calendars, and gifts full of cultural diversity. The total African-American expression of pride, cultural, and self-esteem, where they give voice to the voiceless. Malik Books offers a large selection of diverse children's books because children are 100% of our future. They also specialize in conscious, hard-to-find, hot, and bestsellers of today. Since 1990, Malik Books has served the Los Angeles community with books and cultural gifts. They host events that amplify BIPOC culture and promote pride in community, empowering the people with books. MalikBooks.com ships books nationwide. For more information, visit MalikBooks.com. That's MalikBooks.com. And our first wonderful guest tonight is author Anise Rochelle, who will be signing her bestseller Juneteenth at Malik Books this coming Saturday, a book that teaches children all about Juneteenth. Anise Rochelle has written 6 books that promote self-love and build confidence. Author Anise Rochelle, calling from Cleveland, Ohio, by the way, inside my Pulse 101, in collaboration with Malik Books in celebration of this Saturday's Freedom to Read and Write Juneteenth celebration at Westfield's Culver City Mall. Coming up at the top of the hour, going to be a blessed conversation. And we got, don't forget our third hour. I got some upon further review clips we'll be trying to get to all week. We will make it happen tonight, okay? Clips that extend the conversation on some of the topics we touched on recently on the Danny Mo Show. And in the meantime and in between time, make sure you like, share, and follow us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, too. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like on there, okay? And remember to download the KBLA app to gain even more access to us. You can stream KBLA Live. You can use the open mic feature on there. We just might play that over the air, but we would really love for you to call the program. 1-800-920-1580. But that is the new exclusive KBLA app from KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about, but I got to get something on my chest, though. Andy, Am I going to be accused of having the Danny misogynistic show again? Is that what it is? All right, check this out. This is one of a highly sensitive nature, too. Okay? I want to preface this entire rant by saying that. And the hot topic on Black Twitter and practically every black blog in America this week is Sukihana. For those unaware, Sukihana, also known as Destiny Lynette Henderson, is a reality TV personality, rapper, songwriter, actress, mad talented. She rose to prominence as a main cast member on the VH1 reality series Love and Hip Hop Miami. She has released one mixtape titled, get this, Wolf Pee. And I ain't talking urine. Okay? Yeah. Which only emphasizes my point. Now I'm going to preface this rant with another Danny Mo Show disclaimer by saying that it is never okay to sexually harass or assault women. Never. I fully understand that men have historically taken advantage of women in pretty much every aspect of society, and the advent of the Me Too movement back in 2006 finally delivered many of the men in question their comeuppance, and it was about time. So please understand that what I'm about to say is in no way counter to the progress that I believe was a long time coming. I just believe that this situation deserves a more in-depth and honest conversation. That being said, here's Sukihana on The Breakfast Club answering a question from a listener about what she's into sexually. Listen.
Submissive play. Submissive play. Like, if my man want to walk me like a dog, I'm going to let him walk me like a dog. I'm going to walk him like a dog. I'm going to whip him with my wig. I'm going to put candle wax on his. I'm going to beat his. I'm going to stretch his.
I know that's right.
Jesus Christ.
Whoa. And here's Sukihana being even more aggressive on the Jason Lee show, talking about Diddy, Young Miami, and their rumored liquid activity. Hide the kitties. Danny Mo Show listener discretion is advised. Listen.
And I with Diddy. And one thing about me, I feel like I'm Young Miami. I love when on me. That was a real y'all scared to talk about what the y'all like, because y'all so worried about what these gonna think. Baby, if you on me, make sure you get my hair done after. Yeah. On me, in my mouth. Let me on his mouth. Let me in your mouth, fart in your face. I want to on top of your hair and rub it in. I like to open my legs, squat my over his face, and give me a nice little fart in.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Yeah, it's Kevin Hart in the end. Somebody tagged that on, but that is nasty, right? Vulgar, aggressive, and to some Neanderthal men out there, enticing, and unfortunately, welcoming. If you haven't heard, rapper YK Osiris has gotten himself in some trouble for grabbing and trying to steal a kiss from Sukihana at a recent event. Twice, by the way. His actions were foul, deplorable, and some might even say illegal. I think he should be brought up on charges, personally. Stay tuned to that entire debacle. And what's making matters even more complicated is Sukihana is going to social media yesterday from her page entitled Suki with the Good C, that rhymes with Suki. Yeah, exactly. With a message saying, and I quote, "I drink to hide that I'm very sensitive. I feel things more than the average person. I stopped drinking yesterday, but today I've been crying all day. I ask God to strengthen me and use me to help others and to order my steps in his word. I just want to go away for a while," end quote. Giving it to God, huh? Interesting. I'm praying for that young lady to find her peace, whatever God she serves, by the way. But allow me to take the conversation back to the young kings and queens out here, because you know that's what I like to do. The same people that are defending Sukihana's behavior tonight should have been the same people that were trying to help her in shaping her image over the past few months. And definitely helping her through her alcoholism. It's all fun and games when Sukihana is giving sexually aggressive commentary on multiple sites and shows, but everybody wants to become socially conscious when the crap gets real. If a rapper puts out content that is violent, he is treated as such, as if he is living that lifestyle. If a male R&B singer puts out content that is sexually aggressive, he is also treated as such, as if he is living that lifestyle. And if Sukihana puts out content that she's some form of a freak with some come one, come all messaging, she is now being treated as such. Again, touching her and trying to kiss her is wrong, and the law should probably get involved. But I'm just getting sick and tired of everybody turning a blind eye to this new generation of sexual liberation by the far too aggressive and often touchy female rappers in the hip-hop generation while screaming for people like Trey Songz to get arrested? When do we as the black community start demanding that our new generation of black entertainers start raising the bar on what decency is? When do we start demanding that there is a threshold for what's considered decent in society? It was reported yesterday that this is the first time in more than 30 years that hip-hop has had no #1 single or album on the Billboard charts. In more than 30 years. I believe this is all related. It's time we raise the bar on decency so the imagery and morality of our young kings and queens is displayed more regally. But that's just me, man. When we come forward, my 7 series of the night, we'll take your phone calls as well. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA, stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Tina Turner's hometown to build a statue in her honor. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. On May 24, news spread of the death of the queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner, who died at 83 years old. Turner's representatives say she died of natural causes after long illness. The mayor of Tina's hometown has since revealed plans to build a statue in honor of Turner. Bill Rawls Jr., mayor of Brownsville, reveals his hope to have the sculpture placed in Heritage Park near the high school Tina attended as a teenager. She was born in the same town in 1939. Rest in peace to the queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner. I'm Maisha Cairo for KBLA Talk 1580, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Did you know that all City of LA renters have rights? Check out these 3 facts. Residential tenants can't be evicted without reason or just cause. Eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt due before March 31st, 2023. And you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice. 5 days. Many Angelinos may be at risk of losing their home, and that's why we want you to know your rights. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
When I move my body, I feel like freedom.
Malik Books is hosting the Freedom to Read and Write Juneteenth celebration at Westfield Culver City Mall on June 17th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come celebrate the freedom to read and write with love, music, children's activities, author readings, book signings, and more. For more information, go to malikbooks.com. Come celebrate with us at Malik Books. Story time with Jozo Bozo the Clown. Featured author Anise Rochelle reading and signing her bestseller, Juneteenth, a Book. Teaches children about Juneteenth. Anise Rochelle has written 5 books that promote self-love and confidence. Come celebrate at Malik Books. Fun for the whole family. Freedom to read and write the Juneteenth celebration. Our voice matters. For more information, go to malikbooks.com. Again, malikbooks.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Boy, if I could read some of the text messages I just got, regardless, be that as it may, Andy, let's jump right into the 7 series. Let's go. Come on.
One topic, 7 answers. It's time for the 7 series on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Now, look, this will continue to happen. Bank on it. Old white men are in no hurry to relinquish their executive positions obtained through white entitlement and white supremacy, and they definitely won't capitulate to the multicultural liberal left. But there's one color they do care about, green. So they might be willing to make some changes. That's why my 7 series, excuse me, my voice is tripping tonight. That's why my 7 series tonight is 7 steps companies can make in order to alleviate internal racism. Houston, we have a problem. Disinfect the racist decision makers from your company now, or deal with us African Americans shopping elsewhere later. I'm giving you some valuable information to help your business tonight, right now. You want to add to the discussion? You know how we put it down for the 10. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. 7 steps companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Here's number 1. Integrate people of color into the executive positions within your company. Well, yeah, duh. You'll need these whistleblowers on the board for self-regulation and to avoid debacles like the one that Microsoft was in and Walmart was in and IKEA was in and all these other companies as well. Yeah, it's nice that you love to highlight the high numbers of African Americans that are a part of your overall workforce. But how about showing us the melanin on your board of directors? That would impress your boy. And that is the first step companies can take and make in order to alleviate internal racism. Here's number 2. Diversify your personal racial portfolio. You know, a few years ago, the Washington Post reported that the average white person has 91 white friends and 1 black friend. I always trip off of that stat. 91 white friends and 1 black friend. That's pathetic. I got more brown in my underwear than you have in your circle of friends. I'm just saying. But that's a bad analogy right after we just talked about it. But you get the point. And that is the second step companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Here's number 3. Stop conflating the plights of other groups with institutional and systemic racism suffered by African Americans. As you know, we are an unapologetically progressive radio station here at KBLA. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We speak up for all of the marginalized groups within our society. Yes, gays battle for acceptance, so do disabled, but it's not the same. Please stop. You should have policies and protections specifically geared towards African Americans. It'll attract more color to your workforce and reinforce your commitment to the cause, to your customers, and that is the third step companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Here's number 4. Stop being more outraged by the slaughtering of dogs than you do the slaughtering of multiple unarmed African American males by law enforcement. What Michael Vick did years ago was unconscionable. Jaheim, too. Look it up. But what happened to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and so many more were far worse, man. We can clearly tell just how ignorant you actually are when you show more anger towards the killing of a brown pit bull than a brown-skinned man in George Floyd. Your racism is showing. And that is the 4th step companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Here's number 5. Redefine the strategies in the ethnic section at your place of business. First of all, I think the phrasing is offensive. Seems like every drugstore that I go to, and is there from Walgreens to Rite Aid to otherwise, it seems like they always have an ethnic section. And they got signage saying it too. Right? Secondly, you locking the entire section behind lock and key is even more offensive. Maybe necessary, but it seems like there should be a different way to do things, you know? But here's the thing. If your drugstore is in a predominantly black neighborhood, why do you have an ethnic section? It doesn't make sense. And if not, why would you? Why wouldn't you? Exactly. And that is the 5th step companies can make. You know, why are you making that face at me right now? You don't agree with that? Huh? You and I may have talked about this like a couple years ago. I go to Walgreens right here, right? Century Boulevard. Same parking lot as Target and In Shape and all of it, right? You go in there, 95% of the clientele that walks inside that building are African American, right? Why is there an ethnic section? Explain that to me. We are your customers. The ethnic section probably should be white products. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, we have our Latinos brothers and sisters that, you know, patronize the stores.
They are not in the ethnic section. This is their way of saying this is what black people buy. It's when you go to the ethnic section, it's all black stuff, man. And Latinos are considered themselves to be Caucasian these days, so you know they ain't shopping in our section.
Okay, Jocelyn Hernandez.
I'm not trying to be Jocelyn. We ain't even talked about that. But why is there an ethnic section in a black neighborhood drugstore?
You have a point.
I'm just saying.
But you had an issue when you went to USC for the little book stuff, right? Which is not in the... Well, actually, it is. I take that back.
USC is in the hood.
It is in the hood.
But it's not it's definitely not something you would call a hood institution.
Right.
No way.
Correct.
That's one of the finest institutions in the world.
Right. in the hood, though.
It is in the middle of the hood.
University of South Central.
I was surprised by that, actually. I was driving through the hood again. I was like, man, USC is in the middle of the hood.
But you still had an issue with that too, though. That they had the black section.
I did have a problem with them sectioning us off. Like I gave Malik books for having that bomb booth that they had at that event, and they're way over in us. And you could tell they had all of the BIPOC in the same section. And I'm like, why can't we just be intertwined with the white people? Is there a problem? I don't understand. Here's number 6. Blend all black-owned products throughout your store. I mean, come on. I just said it. Drugstore, department store, furniture store, weed shop, I don't care, man. Like, for real, right? Give a true indication that you are down for the cause. Asian people have realized what they cater to. If they cater to black women with the right products, we will come. Although I got a problem with that. But we will come, make no mistake about that. And now they dominate 95% of the industry, even though I got issues with that too. But there is a balance somewhere, isn't there? And that is the 6th step companies can make to alleviate internal racism. And lastly, here's number 7. Celebrate Juneteenth the right way. That's all I'm saying. Close your doors that day. Give bonuses. Have a party. Do something that promotes positivity with your workforce and with your clientele. And make it an annual event like we do here at KBLA Talk 1580, man. And that will bring positivity to a holiday that has long been rooted in pain. And that's the 7th and final step companies can make to alleviate internal racism. Andy?
So when do we acknowledge blackness?
What do you mean?
So, listening to your 7 series, it got me thinking about a conversation that we had weeks ago about, like, for example, I'm a wrestling fan or whatnot, and there was this black champion, and they would always say, oh, this is the first black champion.
Well, it was, because The Rock ain't claiming us, but we ain't going to get into that.
So
you want to have that conversation.
So, and not just you, I've heard it from other people. When can we get to a point where it's not, oh, this is the first African-American, the first black this? Why can't it just be Danny Morrison champion?
Because until it becomes the norm, it becomes more prevalent, I think that we have to keep doing that. And it also, once again, goes back to the young kings and queens. We're showing them that you can do this. But the barriers have been broken. There is no more glass ceiling, et cetera, et cetera. Like this Super Bowl we just had, 2 black quarterbacks.
Right.
Did anybody say it?
They did. That was a big story.
I didn't hear it much.
Man, it was all over.
But now that it's been done, regardless, we ain't got to talk about it no more.
I'm with you.
And what are we, 65% of the league, I think, in the NFL?
Something like that.
We're 80% of the NBA, I think it's 65 in the NFL, right? So it's like, you got 2 black quarterbacks, really? We're 65% of the league, and this just happened in 2022, 2023? Come on, man. We have to acknowledge it. I want the young bucks. I want these young kings out here saying, so I can be in the Super Bowl? And your odds are better. I saw the NFL draft. How many of them cats were black? That top 10 that they bring in?
Oh, yeah.
I think 9 of the 10, right?
Right.
And the white dude's the only one that didn't get selected. You see that?
So you would have liked for them to highlight the fact that 9 out of the 10 players drafted were black.
Our youngsters are watching, especially the NFL draft they watching. I want them to hear that and go, there is a chance.
But in our neighborhoods, there's no need to specify, that this is the black section.
There are some that will make the case that if you out there with your chest, saying it with your chest, that you are a black-owned and operated, like, drugstore or hair salon, it may work against you. I've heard people say that. They don't want to pigeonhole themselves into, serving only one segment of the population. They want come one, come all. You can make that case.
I think you're talking about the Walgreens, right?
Yeah.
I think because
all black, by the way.
Right next to it, though, is a El Super.
Yeah. All Latino.
Exactly. So if you have those folks who are shopping at the El Super, you know what I'm saying, go to that Walgreens, which is really next door.
Is that what we doing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why they would specify that this is an ethnic section.
So just because it's next door to a Latino-owned store, we shouldn't cater to the people that are mostly going into that building. The majority of the people that walk inside, I'm in that Walgreens all the time. It's got to be 90-95% black people. Black. And by the way, every employee worked there too. Even the pharmacy section.
I don't know. I think we got some different experiences.
I don't see how. We in the same neighborhood.
I understand, but
and we go into the same Walgreens. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in there all the time. And all I'm saying is, why is there an ethnic section? And it's got hair products, and Blue Magic, You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got to educate the other folks.
Murray grease. Don't get me started. News and traffic right now. When we come forward, we kick off our series in collaboration with Malik Books. I am honored to have this beautiful queen come on to the broadcast. She's calling from Cleveland, Ohio, and I will pick on her a little bit by doing that. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, Anise Rochelle, Inside My Pulse 101. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The chair of the Federal Reserve says inflation has moderated, but there's still a long way to go to get it to 2%. Jerome Powell spoke about the Fed's decision to leave interest rates unchanged for the first time in more than a year. Most officials anticipate 2 more rate increases to come this year. The Fed had raised rates by a total of